Hi, welcome to today's edition of New Connections to the Old West. I am Lynn Johnson. I'm the Assistant Director here at Boot Hill Museum. And today I want to talk to you about a special exhibit we have here at Boot Hill Museum, the City Drugstore. I want to talk to you a little bit about what healthcare was like back in the Old West. So when you would have first moved to Dodge City, what you would have experienced if you were sick or needed to see the doctor. Dr. McCarty was the first doctor in Dodge City. He came here a couple months after Dodge City was founded in 1872, him and his wife Sally. Shortly after they arrived, they had their son Claude. He was the first legitimate child born in Dodge City. When Claude grew up, he also became a doctor, and together they opened the first hospital. But prior to opening the hospital and in the early days of Dodge City, Dr. McCarty had his office in the back of the drugstore. So you would have been able to go in and get your medicine and see your doctor all in the same place. Now the druggist made most of the medicine himself with natural items and some things that they would order in. Pre-made medicine was expensive and it wasn't always available. So they had a lot of items that they would keep on hand to mix those items together to make the medicine. So we have many examples here in this exhibit of bottles that many of them still have the substance in them that would have been used to make the medicine. Not all of it was safe by today's standards. They used a lot of mercury, which we know today to not be very healthy. There was also some substances that we would say is illegal today, but they would use it to fix your ailments. Now, one thing that people don't realize is the bright colored jars that you see in the window over there, the orange and the blue. Those are not medicine, that's just dyed water. But those were always placed in the windows of drugstores in any town you went in the Old West, since there were a lot of people who couldn't read. You would know where to find the medicine by looking for those colored bottles. But it was also an indication of how skilled your druggist was at mixing medicine. There wasn't food color like we have today to make the colors, so the deeper the color, the better the druggist was at getting those chemical reactions to make those bright colors stand out. Most of the time there was blue, there was orange, there was even some yellow. You would also always see a skeleton hanging in your doctor's office, and that was good for a couple of reasons. Number one, there wasn't a lot of x-ray machines or equipment, so the doctor would use that to compare what was wrong with you, like if you had a broken arm, to figure out which bone was broken by comparing it to your skeleton. But it was also a good indication that your doctor really knew what he was doing, because he would receive that skeleton as he graduated from medical school. So you would know he really went to school, and that he went to a good school if you had the skeleton hanging in the closet. So if you were really sick in those days, something that a lot of people don't realize today is that the doctor would come right to your house if you were really sick. He would make house calls. So we have some examples, including Dr. McCarty's personal doctor's bag that they would carry with them on their horse or their buggy and come right to your house. Now, there weren't a lot of hospitals in the old days, and so if you had to have surgery, a lot of times those would happen at your house on your dining room table, because that was usually the tallest flat and hard surface that made it easiest for the doctor to examine you and to perform surgery. There wasn't a lot of medicine to numb the skin around, like if you needed to have stitches or if you had a bullet wound. That's where the saying "bite the bullet" came from. They would have you bite down on a piece of leather or something hard because you would have to bear through the pain. Dr. McCarty was a really important person in Dodge City. He was very well respected. Even though he moved to the Old West from Missouri, he never left the Eastern ways of dressing behind. He always wore the white starched collar. He was never criticized for dressing the way the Easterners were and was very respected around town. He was an advocate of physical activity. He felt it was important for people to stay active. He built the skating rink in Dodge City, so we had a McCarty skating rink that really encouraged people year-round to get out and be physically active. And in fact, everybody in town, including the cowboys and the dance hall girls, were welcome to come to the dance hall. However, the front street girls and the cowboys were only allowed 2 days a week entrance to the skating rink, because the other days were left for proper society. Dr. McCarty also started the first bicycle club in Dodge City, and him and his son Claude were very active in that club and rode their bicycles all over town. When Claude grew up and became a doctor, he came back to Dodge City, and him and his father together started the McCarty Hospital. It's at approximately where the post office is here in Dodge City today. We have a picture of Dr. McCarty standing in that hospital next to one of the very first x-ray machines. But I want you to look very closely at this picture because up above the x-ray machine is a painting of an owl. And that painting was done by Claude when he was about 11 or 12 years old. He received an award for it at the Ford County Fair, which we have the certificate for that was signed by Chalkley Beeson. But what's really cool about this picture of an owl is that we have the picture here at Boot Hill Museum that you can see for yourself. So for all you kids out there watching, we're including a frame similar to what Claude's owl is framed like. So I want you guys to print that out, and I want you guys to do the painting of an owl like Claude did. Let's see if you guys are as good of an artist as Claude was.
Relive the legend at the Boot Hill Museum. John City's making history again.